Kia ora te whānau, JT here again, and today we're covering a third interference that we can start to remove. So just a quick recap, this is our formula that we're operating by. We have ultimate potential, but what's getting in the way is this interference. And today we're going to identify an interference that we can remove, if not retrain. So quick recap, one of the interferences we spoke about earlier is we have this ancient alarm system called the stress response. And that stress response is there to protect us, but also sends us into below or above the line thoughts and behaviors. If we're below the line, then we're in survival mode. And we know that we can't solve, or we struggle to solve, the challenges or problems that we may see in our life when we're below the line. Above the line means we're operating in our Google brain and we can see creative ways to overcome what's maybe in front of us, or as we'll touch on today, we may even not think that they're challenges. And so the goal in reaching our potential, removing interference, is about staying above the line as much as possible. Now, we know that this is not going to be the case. We know everybody goes below the line, but the difference is how long people stay there for. And that's resilience. The ability to bounce back quickly to above the line is the key. So using these tools can help us do that. The other interference we spoke about was the negative thoughts and the number of negative thoughts that we have each day and that are repeated each day. Remembering that we have the longest relationship with ourselves. So it's really important that we flood these negative thoughts out with positive affirmations and even written and listening to positive words and statements. So those were some of the two solutions we spoke about previously, and we're going to roll into this next interference with another solution. So interference number 3, called the reticular activating system, or RAS for short. What is this? Well, let's give it a quick test, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to solve this puzzle/quiz. On your marks, set, go. All right, so I want you to figure out what the number is at the bottom there where the question mark is. 15 seconds. Some of you may have already got it now. Very good. 7, 2, 1, and stop. All right, let's look at this, Pretty straightforward by the looks of it. How many points are the shoes worth? Let's look at that. 10 each, 10 plus 10 plus 10 is 30. How many for the person then? Okay, it's got to be 5, 5 plus 5 plus 10 equals 20. How many for the ties then? 4, 5 plus 4 plus 4. Okay, so what is one shoe? Now, you may not have picked up the one shoe, or you may not have picked up the one tie. Or you may not have picked up the times. And this is very common. Some of you may have done this before or picked it up on your first go. But what happens is we have this filter in our brain that only looks for the things that we want it to see. And it's like walking around with a pair of glasses on that has these lenses that we want to see. The lenses pick up the things we want to see. And this is the reticular activating system, or RAS. Now, the goal is, the background is this RAS is being conditioned and trained by our environment as we're growing up. As we're growing up, we are told, or we are giving it instructions on certain things to look out for. It's dangerous out there, watch out. You may have had experience in life, and now your lens is tweaked to that, to look out for that, because the body says that was dangerous. We don't want that to happen again. Make sure you notice it. All right. Have you ever noticed that you may have bought a car, maybe thought it was the only car in your neighborhood or around? All of a sudden, when you buy that car, you start seeing it everywhere. All right. or it could be something you buy to wear, etc. But basically, what this RAS lens does is it blocks out all the other things, so all the blue, and only focuses on the red. So, how does this impact our health, or our habits, or our behavior? Well, I'll share with you a story about how my RAS impacted me, which impacted my behavior, which caused me to eat things I didn't want to do. But referring back to this model in this picture, the RAS can help us look at that journey of reality very differently than what we might currently see. We might see these challenges, but imagine seeing these as presents, because these challenges aren't going to stop. These events in our life that cause us to stop and check in aren't going to stop. And as a coach I had once said, JT, don't wish for more problems. Sorry, don't wish for less problems or less solutions. Ask for more tools. And that totally blew my mind, because I always just wanted it to be flat, that top picture. But as we know, life is not going to be flatlined. If you're flatlined, then you're dead. Okay. So these events, the ups and downs, the nooks and crannies are not going to stop. It's how we look at them that we can change. So imagine seeing them as gifts, not problems or challenges. And so that's what we can do with the RAS. So here's my story. When I started having tamariki or kids, obviously they would wake up in the night. And as I started to wake up in the night, I started going to work tired as. And I used to complain to all my workmates about how lack of sleep I had. And I used to go around and talk to everybody, how was your night? And before they could even finish, I'd jump in and say, oh, mine was horrible. Oh, kids have been up since 1 a.m. and I haven't been able to go back to sleep. And I would go around the office like this moaner. I would then obviously get angry at them for waking me up. And I started to see them as a pain. Okay, I just want you to capture that feeling and the view I was looking at them in. I started to feel I was the victim. Why are you doing this to me? I started seeing massive problems and obstacles. They were the obstacle, causing me not to sleep, getting to work too tired. And then I would eat sugary food in order to try and make myself feel better. Then I would get home and the house would be a mess. Stuff on the floor. There'd be stuff on the sink, dishes everywhere. And I come in thinking they've left it for me to clean up. Man, how selfish. They left it for me to clean up. And so then I would get angry again. And then I would feel like a victim again. And then I would go below the line, see problems, find fault. Oh, they're a pain. Oh, my wife did this. Oh, my wife did that. So I just plug it in. And again, I would change my behavior and start to eat and maybe even drink. And so remember, feeling below and thinking below or above the line can affect how we respond and what our behavior might be. So imagine the ability to train the RAS to not see those as problems, but as gifts, to not see the red, but to see the blue. Because just like that quiz at the start, we miss things. They're there right in front of us. The blue is right in front of us, but because of the lens is trained to pick up certain things, we miss the blue. And I was missing the blue completely. So after doing these two solutions for a period of 4 weeks, just like going to the gym, it's like training a muscle. But what I did specifically was actually feel it. Like I was in the gym, I made my muscles feel it. I made my body feel it, because the body keeps the score. The body keeps the memory and impacts and trains your RAS to tune in to what your body wants it to see. And so this is a little video clip of me doing my gratitude to my song, to some other videos, and I'm getting my body to feel it. Now, this is normal if it was in a gym scenario. We're going to the gym, and if your bodies don't feel it, they're not going to grow. Okay. If I'm out on the sports field and I'm in training, if my body's in lugs, if I'm not getting a puff going, sorry, then it's not going to get better. My muscles and my cardio is not going to grow and get better. And so this is me growing the RAS filter by making the body feel it. Now, this looks very weird, doesn't it? It looks very wacky, dacky, and I'm actually hoping no one walks in on me at this point. But society has trained us not to feel. Society has told us that you can't feel because it's not okay. And so this will be getting out of some people's comfort zone. So you might start small. You might start with the little fist pump. Yeah. You might start with a little bit of a clap in there. But I dare you to, wherever you are, you just jump up and give a fist pump in the air and you try and feel sad at the same time. You can't, right? It's that whole analogy. If you smile, you can't feel sad. So you might start with a smile. But the message today is we need to feel it in our body. We need to over-exaggerate it, like when we're in the gym. We're putting it under pressure, the muscles, so that they can get stronger. It's exactly the same concept here. So 4 weeks later, middle of the night, my kids, 2 kids at the time under 6, I think, wake up. And I had this thought that had never entered my mind before. And it was the first thought that came to my mind at 1 a.m. in the morning. And it made me stop in my tracks. I remember lying in bed. I was like, what the heck? I heard the cries. I had a thought. And I was like, where did that come from? This thought was very different to what I had up until this point when they cried at night. And the thought was, thank God they're alive. And I remember lying in my bed going, where the hell did that come from? And it caused me to feel this sense of gratitude so deep that they were alive. I ran to their room, and usually I would shove the bottle in their mouth or whatever they needed and then walk out. Get back to bed grumpy. Roll around in my bed grumpy. Wake up tired, off to work. But this time, what this thought caused me to do differently in my behavior was I hugged them for the rest of that night, both of them, 2 in one arm, in each arm. And I just started kissing them and rocking on the chair, and I didn't want to leave. And I remember going, wow, that thought, where did it come from? Then when I came home and I opened the door and there was mess on the floor, the first thought that popped into my mind again caused me to stop and pause and like reflect on where's that come from? That's a new thought. You know, those other 65,000 negative thoughts we have, this was a very different one. So I noticed it very quickly. And the thought was, thank God they're home. Thank you that they're home. Versus, oh, they've left this for me to clean up. And how did that thought affect my behavior? I just wanted to play and hug with them. And so what I realized over time is that my RAS had been trained by doing the gratitude things we've spoken about, but feeling it like this, training it like we go to the gym. And it caused my RAS to see the blue, to see the amazing opportunities that these things we used to call challenges or issues or problems. it caused me to see the blue in each of those opportunities. I didn't have to reframe my thinking because the first thought I had was, thank God they're alive. Thank God they're here. Thank God they're home. And so it started to change my view, which started to change my feelings and then my behavior. I wasn't angry anymore. And so I was technically above the line when I used to be below the line. And so would I go and eat? Nope. Would I go and grab that comfort food? Nope. I would just be in this state of enjoyment, bliss, etc. So, mood and gratitude with your song. Affirmations by through the song, by written or listening to them, but you need to feel it and exaggerate your body movements. Okay, so as you're listening, if you're feeling a little bit of a shake, shake it harder. It's like putting 10 kgs on your weights in the gym or making you run another K further or faster. All right. And we need to do this every day like every other muscle. The results are really phenomenal. Some of them are very unexplainable at times, and people, when you share them, they're like, that surely can't happen. But again, we are involved in a society now where we do this type of stuff, people go, that's weird, that's not mainstream, you're a weirdo, all of those things. But the concept of gratitude is now becoming more and more mainstream, but we need to put the rocket fuel on it by feeling it. And so I leave you with this, Etefano. It's not the goal that we're aiming for, that we need to conquer, the no sugar, the no couch, whatever it might be, the no alcohol. Because I know, no doubt, some of us have done this before, and then there's a time where we go, yeah, we've done really well, and then we'll maybe go back to where we started. And it becomes this constant cycle of ups and downs, ups and downs. And so that's a real key indicator to say, well, it's not the goal or the mountain that we need to actually conquer, it's ourselves. And I really enjoy a quote also given by someone who says, the things that trigger us the most is the area we need to investigate the most. Brene Brown. The cave we fear the most is the cave we need to enter. And so whatever you do from here on in, I hope that you are able to explore yourself a little further and apply little bits of this. If you can apply big parts of this, amazing. If not, kei te pai, start small. Nā mihi te whānau pai tō rā, ka kite. JT out.